All right, my name is Tony, and I'm one of the founders of Captis, and you can read more about us in the description below. We've been going through this series on how to effectively nurture new leads. And what I mean by new leads are the new contacts that you've either captured off of an ad form on social media or your website, a chat widget. They called into your business, whatever the case is, you've captured these customers, these new contacts, they funneled into your CRM, and you are now going through the stages of nurturing these new leads. And today, like I said, we're in stage 4. In the last video, I talked about the point of the sale, stage 3, and I was specifically talking to buy here, pay here dealers, and this one's going to relate more specifically for buy here, pay here dealers also. In the 4th stage, they're still in the store. They've already landed on a vehicle. They've already gone over all the numbers, and they're ready to buy. I mean, it's at that point. It is time to close the sale. So the salesperson has 2 things. The first thing that they have to do is they have to make sure everything is ready to close that sale out so that it can be, which is step 1, verified. I'm going to put verification on here. Verification is that entire process of possibly, and depending on how your dealership does it, but it's the process of verifying the entire packet, verifying that the approval is correct, that the deal structure matches the approval, that the references are all in there, ready to be called. Some dealerships call the references right then and there, others don't, they wait. But the whole verification process is so that somebody else verifies, or at least my recommendation, somebody else verifies the deal structure and everything associated with the deal to make sure that it's a good deal, that it's going to be approved fully. And the verification process is that final full approval based on all of the data, all of the information. Now, in this process, you're going to have all the docs that are required, all the documents. You're going to have and make sure and check all the references to make sure that the required references are in there, depending on how many references you have. Like I said, I work with some clients that they actually call the references right then and there. They set up auto pay. By the way, with buy here, pay here dealers, if you're able to get auto pay on your loans, you have a much stronger chance of them making those payments than if they're not set up on auto pay. So I always recommend setting customers up on auto pay. It's a benefit to them because they don't have to worry about it. They know exactly when it's going to come out. It comes out the day after their payday, so it's one of the first things that they get paid. It's automatically deducted from their account. Easy way to help secure your loans and make sure that they get paid. Doesn't always work that way, but people who are set up on auto pay, you have a stronger chance. I have one client that, they have 60% of their accounts plus on auto pay. That's huge for a buy here, pay here dealership. I want to challenge you to see if you can get 80% of your accounts set up on auto pay. Now, the one thing is with auto pay, you cannot necessarily require it, but it is strongly encouraged because, like I said, it is a benefit to the customer as well because they don't have to worry about whether or not they're making their payments. So you'll have all this set up. You'll make sure auto pay's set up. Make sure and verify deal structure. Make sure that's complete, accurate. Make sure all of the information, the customer's name is spelled correctly, the address is correct. Again, the deal structure is correct in accordance with your guidelines and the approval. You want to make sure all of this gets verified before the customer leaves, because after they leave, you're going to have a much harder chance getting these things verified. Employment, so on and so forth. So all of this is that verification process. And this should take about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Sometimes it can take longer if you're trying to get a hold of all the references and make sure you can contact them. But depending on that, this should take about 20, 30 minutes for this process to be completed. While the process of verification is being completed, And this is something I recommend, and a lot of my clients use this as well. And some of them create their own videos, some of them have lawyers create them, things like that. But do a closing video. Go through all the details of buying a car, what it really means, what's entailed, what is their responsibility, what is your responsibility, so on and so forth. So have a closing video put together, and while the verification process is going, they can watch this closing video. I've seen them around 10, 15 minutes. That's about the extent of what they need to be. They go through this process, step 2, and while they're going in this process also, you also want to get your review. So this should be automated, and we automate this for our clients. It should be an automatic thing. So as soon as they get to the verification process, automatically this text and email goes out to the customer. Hey, would you give us a review? Make sure you include my name. They watch the closing video. It could be where it's automatically, once they sign, that they understand the closing video. By the way, all of these are automated steps, so you don't even have to worry about them happening. They just happen automatically. They watch the closing video, they hit submit on the form that says, yes, I understand the closing video. That automatically sends them a review link. Hey, go ahead and give me the review now. Have the salesperson get that review right then. Because the review is about the sale. And that's what you want to get. How was I as a salesperson for you? And that's what you want to encourage your salespeople to do. Step 2, after all of this is done and while all of this is going on, step 2, following that, is delivery. Now, a lot of people overlook the importance of this step. The delivery of the vehicle isn't just, here's your keys, have a good night, we'll see you on your next payment. No, the delivery is an important aspect of making sure that your customer has everything they need to be a successful vehicle owner. You want to make sure they are successful in owning a vehicle. Here, and you want, setting up Bluetooth, setting up any other things that need to be set up, showing your customer how to use the electronic systems, the touch screens, the infotainment center, all of those things. And a lot of salespeople miss this because I've talked with salespeople and have encouraged this, and know salespeople who do this. Most of them have a handwritten note that's already done. I've actually heard of one person that stashes handwritten notes to every customer in different places of the vehicle. They put one in the spare tire, if there is a spare tire, or if there's not a spare tire, they have the pump that fills the tire up with gel, kind of like Fix-A-Flat, and they put a note in there saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're experiencing this or whatever, and they show empathy for that time. They had one person put a note in the visor on the passenger side that was written to the passenger so that whenever they lower that visor, say, hey, so-and-so bought this car and you're a passenger, you get to experience that. And they put together a nice note in there for that. So the delivery is an important aspect that helps success ownership. Successful ownership, that's what you're going for. Because if they are successful now, they're going to make sure that their payments are paid. And these are the 2 steps mainly that are associated with the verification process, stage 4 of effectively nurturing new leads.